Are here for the long awaited, highly anticipated Beauty and the Beast channeled messages. I made a post about it almost about a week ago, last week sometime, and I've been seeing y'all comments that y'all cannot wait to get into this reading. So I am excited, y'all. Y'all know how we do over here. We allow Spirit to lead this channel. What comes through is what comes through. You know, when I first did when it first came to me to do the channeled message, you know, I thought it would be going one way, but Spirit can take it a whole nother way. And literally, I watched the film again a few days ago, and I'm like, okay, well, what's the message? What you want me to talk about with the people? And even to this day, as I'm sitting down, I'm getting new downloads. So I do have notes. You may see me look over here or down occasionally. I'm just looking at my notes. But again, it can take a whole different turn than what I thought it would be. So um, let's rewind. Okay. Beauty and the Beast. So I came to do the reading. Spirit told me to watch the movie Beauty and the Beast because last week I posted a video called Man Down that you broke the curse off of your divine masculine, okay? So after I did that reading, I was still getting downloads, and one of the downloads was to watch Beauty and the Beast, the movie from the 90s, y'all, not the remake. I never seen the remake, the 90s version of Beauty and the Beast, the animated, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Beauty and the Beast. So I'm thinking, yeah, Beauty and the Beast, that's like a perfect example of the download from the reading Man Down, right? Because the beast was cursed. So I'm like, okay, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So I finally watched the movie. And if y'all have not seen the movie, spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert, tell you right now, if you don't want to get any details about the movie, you know, stop this video, go watch the film, and then come back, okay? Um, but yeah. So it literally, I'm watching the movie now. I've seen this movie so many times. I watched it last week, but I also watched it maybe a month and a half ago, right? And I was even getting, hey, Pow Pow, I was even getting channel messages for me and my twin, okay? And I'm like, wow. And y'all, Disney movies hit so hard as an adult because you've gone through some things and they'd be like, dang, that's like actually really deep. So I watched it again and I'm like, okay, you know, stuff I already know. And it wasn't until the end of the movie, literally the last 4 minutes of the film, where I heard a love that transforms. Okay, a love that transforms. And then I'm like, wow, yeah, that's it. A love that transforms because the beast was cursed. Now, fast forward to today. Hey, you from Italy? Awesome. I'm in Texas, in the South. But yeah, y'all, so today I'm getting ready. I'm eating. I just finished frying some fish and stuff, you know, so I can make sure I ate before I came on here. And I heard that men are under judgment and that the patriarchy system has officially collapsed. And I'm like, dang, where'd that come from? And it made me think about how the beast was cursed. But you know, the beast, he was a prince, right? And he was cursed because of his cold heart. Okay, he had a cold heart. In the beginning of the film, there was an enchantress that um, put him under curse because he treated her so cold and so bad, so nasty. And so, okay, let's get into it because I don't want to be all over the place talking. Okay, so I made some notes to try to help keep me in order. Y'all, I am such a fan of this movie. So let's see. Okay, so I said all that. Also, y'all, these are channel messages, so make sure. Thank you for subscribing, Pow Pow. Thank you, and thank y'all for the hearts. Hey, Tim Marquez. Make sure y'all tap into your intuition. You know, as I channel these messages. Okay, we're gonna take a deep dive. I'm not the type to like hand spoon everything to you. I need y'all to tap in. Okay, I need y'all to pick up what I'm dropping down. Okay. So I'm gonna start out with the main characters, okay, that stood out for me. So let's start with Bel. Bel, that's beauty. Bel means beauty, okay? So, um, Bel is going to represent the divine feminine. We're going to correlate this to the twin flame relationships, twin flame unions, twin flame dynamic. The beast is going to be the divine masculine, and the spirit guides are the servants. So yeah, remember the beast had, he lived in a castle, but he was cursed and his whole castle was cursed. The servants were cursed. The servants were turned into, furniture pieces and dishes and things like that. So they're going to represent the spirit guides in this uh, dynamic in this story. Okay, so Belle was, the most beautiful girl in town. She was very different from all the other women in her town, very peculiar. They considered her beauty but very weird because she was just off to herself. She wasn't caught up in, the latest trends and fads and what everybody else was doing. She just loved to, read her books. Okay, she was like a nerd. She was beautiful, but she was off to herself. She didn't wear like the most fancy dresses, and she just, took care of her father's business. Her father was an inventor, and she loved to be out in nature and tending to the animals. Okay, so that was Belle. And remember, she always knew she was destined for more, because in the beginning she talked about she know there's more than this provincial life. So she knew she was destined for more, for greater, but she was at the same time very content and refused to settle for anything less. So then let's get into the beast. I already mentioned that the beast, he was cursed, okay, because of his cold heart. And then the spirit guides, um, they were like the servants, the helpers. Okay, so let's see what else. So with Belle, like she refused to settle. She was highly desired. So the most uh, eligible bachelor, the most desired man in the town, Gaston, he wanted Belle like so bad, okay? But she was just not interested in him. She was not paying him the time of day, and she just refused to settle. And he wanted to marry her. Like he was willing to do anything it took, you know, he was trying to do all kind of, crooks and schemes to, try to twist Belle's arm to get her to marry him. But she refused to settle for that. So fast forward, she was singing a song about wanting more than this, regular life. She knew she was destined for more, right? So it reminded me of how, you know, our destiny, how when we have desires, those desires, what we put out into the universe that we want to call in, it doesn't go unnoticed. Like spirit knows the deepest desires of our heart, even if we don't see it, okay? And so she had this fated union, fated destiny with the beast. She didn't know. So she ends up coming into contact with the beast, not knowing that this was part of her destiny. This is part of calling in what she wanted. So she ends up encountering the beast because her father was a prisoner of the beast, okay? Because he, trespassed into his property. So the beast took the father as his prisoner. So Belle finds out and she goes to go save her father, and she exchanges, herself, her freedom to set her father free. Okay, so she tells the beast, well, you can take me instead. So um so she's like crying, like feeling like her whole life is thrown away. And this one movie really gets exciting to me, where you can see like the foreshadowing. So she's like crying, feeling like her whole life is thrown away because now she's a prisoner of the beast. And like he is, he's a beast. He's like mean, he's nasty, he's hideous looking. And, Bella's just like all so sweet, And so the spirit guys, when she got to the castle, I call them the spirit guys because they were like kind of nudging her of where to go to find her father all along. When she came, the horses are when they led her to the house, but the spirit guys was like nudging. Once she got there, they were like making noises and doing little things to get her to, where to be. And so that's why they're the spirit guides in this, because they were the ones like kind of pulling the strings to make this union happen, make it come together. So So she's crying. So the spirit guide, the candle in this case, he said his name was Lemire. He said he tell the beast, instead of leaving her in this dark, prison cell, you think you want to, give her a comfortable room, right? So she can be a little more comfortable. So she's going to be our guest. They called her a guest, not a prisoner. And so they upgrade her room. Thank you, Michelle. He upgrades her room, puts her in a nicer room, and so she just falls out crying, right? Not looking at the fact that she's in this castle, right? She's in this huge castle, and but she's looking at the fact that her father's been taken away from her. She's a prisoner now, you know. And so Miss Potts tells her she's crying. Belle is crying. Miss Potts tells her, in the other furniture piece is talking to Belle and like, it'll be fine. Everything will be all right. It'll all work out in the end. You'll see. And I love that part because it's like, it reminds me of our spirit guides, are always encouraging us like, it'll be okay. But we get caught up in like the moment and how bad it is and how, it's like, oh my God, life is over and whatever it is that we're going through at the moment. But our spirit guides know you're right where you need to be. You're right on your path to your destiny. So Miss Potts say, it'll be fine. It'll all work out in the end. You'll see. Because they knew that they were under curse and Belle was the one that was going to break the curse. Okay. They needed a girl. They needed Belle to come in and break the curse off this beast. So let's get to the beast. The beast was put under curse. I want to say he was put under curse. I don't know. I think he may have been about 16. I don't know, but I know he had until his 21st birthday. He had until his 21st birthday to fall in love and to have someone love him in return. Now, mind y'all, he is a beast. He is just mean, okay? And he looks scary on the outside. Like everybody was scared of the beast, okay? Even his servants was kind of scared of him. Like they would be tiptoeing around him. And so that looked like a hopeless goal, a hopeless feat to get somebody to love him. And he even said, like, who could ever love a beast, right? So he was put under curse in the first place because his heart was cold. And he cursed the whole castle, okay? The whole bloodline, everybody cursed, okay? Divine masculines, catch it, okay? Y'all catch it, what I'm putting down, okay? Because of his cold heart, he was cursed. And it just makes me think how we can curse ourselves by the condition of our heart. When we talk about karma and how we treat people, not moving when spirit nudges us to move, right? Being caught up in our own pride and ego. And so he literally cursed himself just for being cold-hearted. And he was the one that could break the curse by, turning over that cold heart. So thankful for a Belle who was, a loving, pure soul that could see beyond the exterior. So the spirit guides are like trying to, coach the beast on how to be, how to woo the girl, like how to be a little more softer, okay? To stop being so rigid. And it's just so funny because it just makes me think with the divine feminine, divine masculine connection, that's what we deal with a lot of the times. Like the divine feminine is usually in a more pure, loving energy, and the divine masculines, are more cutthroat or more mean. They push the divine feminine away, okay? They are closed off, to their emotions. They're not emotionally available. All these things. So this was a perfect reflection of that. So anyway, it took a little while for him to finally let those guards down. So let's fast forward to, so Belle, she refused to settle, okay? She was not scared of the beast. She was not afraid to let him know about himself. Now he's used to people, being scared of him because, he's the beast. But she was not afraid of him. So in the beginning, he told her that the West Wing was forbidden, that she could not ever go to the West Wing, okay? He wouldn't say why or what it was. So anyway, fast forward. Oh, another thing. Belle was intuitive, okay? And she was intuitive because she knew that the castle was cursed. She knew that it was an enchanted castle without them even telling her. And they like, enchanted castle? Like, what do you mean? Why do you say that? What gives you that idea? She figured it out, okay? So she was intuitive. So, um, so she finally gets to go. She goes to the West Wing. Okay, they give her not the Beast, but the servants give her a tour of the house, and she ventures off and she goes to the West Wing. The West Wing is dark. Okay, it looks scary. Um, and this represented the Beast. You know, his secrets. You know, the thing that he felt ashamed of. He was ashamed of, you know, what was hidden. Okay, he didn't want her to see this side of him, right? It was dirty, it was dark, it looked gloomy and haunted and scary over there in the West Wing. And she's walking through his shadow. The West Wing was his shadow. It was what's hidden, what he was ashamed of, what he wanted to keep in secret. And she's walking through it. She's like, oh my God, okay. But she's steady walking through it, walking through the shadow, walking through the darkness, walking through his darkness, y'all. Y'all catch what I'm dropping, okay? She's walking through his darkness, walking through his shadow, walking through the things that he is most ashamed of. Okay? So she's like seeing what's hidden, seeing the secrets. Y'all, when I say this room, as she's walking through it, it gets scarier and scarier. Like stuff is tore up, it's dirty. He done broke furniture, he done scratched, you know, paintings and stuff. It's just tore up over there. And this is where he lived, y'all. This was his room. This what was forbidden. And so he was afraid of anyone getting close and getting intimate and seeing these intimate parts of himself. But Belle went over there and was just like, she was steady walking through his shadow, through his darkness. And she found the rose. The rose represented, you know, the curse, and that he had until that rose wilted, his 21st birthday, to um, find true love. And so he sees her in his room and he gets upset because remember he was afraid of anybody getting intimate, getting close with him and being vulnerable. So he yells at her and tells her to get out. He screams at her, and so she runs out the house. She's like, I'm leaving. I don't care, promise or not. I'm getting out of here, right? And so the next chapter of their dynamic reminds me of the twin flame dance. I call it the dance, okay? In the twin flame union, I don't even, a lot of people call it the runner and the chaser. I don't call it runner and chaser. To me, the twin flame union is a runner and an avoider, okay? Somebody running and somebody's avoiding. Somebody running and somebody avoiding their feelings, okay? And it's you do that back and forth. So he yells at her because he's afraid of being intimate, getting close. Anybody seeing his shadow and his secrets and his shame. She runs out the house. So she runs out and she gets attacked. She gets surrounded by wolves. So the beast comes out of nowhere and saves her, right? From being attacked by the wolves. So in the midst of him saving her from being attacked, remember, she already was mad at him, like, I'm about to go. You scared me. You treating me, talking to me all kind of crazy. Remember, he been yelling at her the whole time in the movie. He was yelling at this woman, telling her, yeah, she can't eat. If she won't join him for dinner, fine, you'll starve. Like, he was doing his big one on Belle, okay? And she's still just like this little sweet little soul. But he was doing his big one. And that reminded me, I just heard she had like a grounded love. She had a grounded love within herself. She didn't settle. She refused to go along with what she wasn't going along with. And she stood her ground, but she was still very loving. So there's a balance there. But y'all, so now he saved her and she turned her back for a moment, like, forget him. I'm about to leave. You already, I'm the reason. You the reason I'm out here anyway in this cold because you know yelled at me. So he out there in the snow, damn near about to die. Okay, in the cold. So instead of leaving him out there in the cold, she, you know, helps him up on her horse and she basically nurses him back to good health. Okay. And even while she was trying to help him, like she was trying to nurse his wounds and stuff, he's sitting up there still yelling at her. And she yelled back like, well, listen, okay? So that's why I say she was not scared of the beast. And the servant's like, woo, she getting back with him? Like, okay. And that actually was like a turning point for them. Like they both faced, you know, the hardship, the conflict. And sometimes, you know, I'm hearing something about it was something like when you face, you know, those challenges, it deepens your bond. right? So a lot of times people avoid conflict, avoid difficult conversations because they don't want to rock the boat. But it's actually when you face, you know, those ugly conversations, you know, sometimes you got to get with each other and let each other know what it is and what it ain't. And then it actually deepens the bond. So that was when the relationship started to take a turning point. So he was so moved that in spite of his ugly, nasty ways, this woman was still there. Okay? Like, not, she was a prisoner, but she didn't have to do what she was doing. She didn't have to help him and, you know what I'm saying, nurse him back to health. She didn't have to do none of that. You know, she was still being kind and loving to him, and she did not have to do that. So he was so moved. He was like, I got to do something for her. You know, like, I've never felt this way before. And so the relationship started to take a turn, and she says that, wow, you know, it's something deeper there to him that I didn't see before. So thankfully, you know, she was not a materialistic girl, which most divine feminines are not materialistic. We look beyond, if anything, we run towards a shadow. Like divine feminines, like we be so attracted to, you know, men that be having them curses and be broken. Like we see it in the beginning. We do. We see it because we feel energy. When somebody got something over them, we see it. We be like, "Ooh, let me heal you, baby," because you. So she was like, "Wow, you know, there's something more to him. There's a softer side." So anyway, she began to see his softness. They begin to fall for each other, but ain't nobody said shit. Okay, no one has expressed their feelings for each other yet. She's falling for him. He's falling for her. But ain't nobody said nothing yet. Okay. Thank y'all for the hearts. Tappity tap tap tap. So they're feeling each other, whatever. Okay. Fast forward. So now they have the night to where they going on like a little dinner date. They done laid everything out. Okay, they putting on their best one, right? They get all dressed up in their best. Okay, she has this beautiful gown. He's suited and booted, and he's like, "This is the night I'm gonna tell her I love her." Right? So they have a beautiful evening. It's all romantic, but they still don't get to express how they feel about each other. So, um, she finds out her dad is sick, and so out of his deep love for her, he out of his deep love for her, he frees her. He says, "You're free to go. You're no longer my prisoner." And she was like, "You'll do that?" And he was like, "Yeah." And mind y'all, he had that rose was wilting. He needed to get this woman to love him. Now, this shows the selfless love that his heart finally turned, because in spite of what he needed, in spite of his own need, like, I need you to love me tonight. In spite of his own need, he let her go, right? Which is also a sign of love, when you can let somebody go to be happy and do what they need to do what's best for them. So she didn't know about, you know, the curse. She knew that the castle was cursed, but she didn't know, you know, any details of what he was going through really. And that he, you know, had a limited time to make something happen. She didn't know about none of that. So he freed her. She goes to go help her dad, and then fast forward, you know, I say the spirit guides again, because now the servants knew that he needed this to happen so they could all be free, because they all was cursed. Okay, so he told what was his name, Cogsworth, the clock. He told Cogsworth, "I let her go." He's like, "You did what?" Like, we need her to fall in love with you tonight. We gonna be cursed for life. Okay, so they can't believe it. So the little cup Chip, okay, he heard what was going on, and he went and hopped in her bag, right? So she gone off to go save her dad. And anyway, Chip is the one, a spirit guide. The spirit guides. Chip is the one, because Belle and her dad got locked away in a cave because Gaston got the whole community to go and try to attack the beast. Okay, they about to take the beast out. Okay, now and she don't know this is her destiny. This is supposed to be her king, her forever. Okay, everything she wanted was there with the beast, but she ain't know all this yet. So Gaston, they locked up Belle and the dad, but Chip, being the spirit guide, uh, got Belle and the dad free, set them out so they could go and try to help the beast. So anyway, fast forward, the Gaston and the whole community is going to go attack the beast. Okay, the beast is he's lost all hope at this point. He has thrown in the towel. Okay, he already under curse. You know, he's already cursed, whole castle cursed. You know, he finally found a woman that he loves, right? He didn't get a chance to tell her how much he loved her and break this curse. He has lost all hope. He ain't got not a fight in his bone, in his body, okay? So he tells the servants, he's like, they like, Master, the castle is under attack. And the beast was like, it's hopeless. Like, let them in. You know, he didn't gave up all hope, y'all. Had no fight left. He just being attacked left and right. Okay. Thank you for those hearts, y'all. He being attacked left and right, y'all. Okay. And I'm just being reminded to say, in the divine feminine, divine masculine connection, that's why I tell you I pray for your person, because you never know what they're going through. Just like you be going through stuff, they go through stuff too. And you have to remember what the divine does it in order and does it where it is perfect. That's why I love with this story how the beast was cursed and he had to actually do the work to change his heart. Imagine you get married to somebody, you give with somebody too soon and their heart is cold. And that's why you're going through all that hell in that house. You married a whole fucking tyrant, okay? So, back to the story. The beast is hopeless. Y'all, when I tell you them spirit guys doing a big one, the spirit guys told them attackers up. Do you hear me, y'all? That part funny. But he told them up, y'all. Okay? The spirit guys was tearing them up trying to come in there and attack their castle. But I'm being reminded to say the beast, he still had to fight his battle on his own, okay? So the spirit guys did their part, but the beast still had to do his part. So, because Gaston was like, y'all can attack the rest, but save the beast is mine. So Gaston goes to the top of the castle, finds the beast. The beast is just like laying there. He's not even fighting back. Gaston, you know, saying, fighting on the beast or whatever, and the beast ain't even fighting back. He just laying there, y'all. He just laying there. Now he's a beast. He's just laying there. And so all of a sudden, Belle comes out of nowhere and she says, Beast! Y'all, he heard that little voice, that little sweet, soft voice in the distance. He looked up and seen his beauty down there. Y'all, the beast, baby, listen. He say, yeah, he found his reason to fight back, okay? He like, oh, my baby came back for me. He thought he would never see her again. He was like, Belle, you came back. Y'all, so now it's on, okay? The beast and seen his beauty came back, okay? Uh, he fighting Gaston. Him and Gaston, they going at it now, okay? So the beast had got to the point where he was literally about to throw Gaston over the damn bridge, but he let him make it. But so now the beast is going climbing, trying to get to Belle, get to Beauty, and Gaston stabs him, right? So now Gaston ended up killing his own damn self. So anyway, fast forward, the beast is like dying, y'all. Now Belle came back, okay, to help save the beast because she knew that they were trying to attack him. She came back, y'all. The beast was dying. So at this point, I don't think he still didn't get a chance to tell her that he loved her. I don't think he did. But he's dying and she's like, no. And so literally as he's dying, she's crying and she says, I love you, right? She says, I love you. This whole thing was about love, y'all. She says, I love you. So everybody crying, the servants crying, they all think it's over. They about to be furniture and dishes for life. The beast is gone and that's it. So out of nowhere, they start getting, these shooting stars started coming down, right? And that's when the beast comes to life, and he comes to life transformed. He comes to life made anew, okay? And that's why I said at the end of the movie, what I heard was a love that transforms, right? A love that transforms all of those twists and turns to get to the end. And at the end, her love, their love broke the curse, broke the spell. But just look at all that movie, all that time that he loved her. He really desired true love, but his heart was cold, right? And he felt like he would never have true love, that he would be cursed for life, because who could love a beast? Who could love a beast? But it took beauty, it took Belle, it took a peculiar spirit, as a peculiar soul to come around that can see beyond. And I feel like that's very encouraging for all of us, because that just reminds me, with back to the spirit guides, your spirit team, your source, the universe, God, whoever you call upon, knows the deepest desires of your heart. And spirit knows how to move you to get where you're supposed to be, y'all. The spirit guides was at play the whole movie to make this fated union happen. Their union, their destiny was fated. Remember, Belle refused to settle. She had no problem finding, attracting men that wanted to marry her. Marry her. Not just thought she was cute, for a good time. No, these men wanted to marry her. Okay? And she did not want that. And she would not settle. And if it wasn't right, she wasn't gonna put up with it. Even with the beast. The beast wasn't talking to her right. She let him know. Like, no, I ain't going for that. Fine, I'll stay in here and I'll starve. But but the spirit guy still fed her and made sure she ate. Okay? The spirit guy still took care of her while the beast was over there dealing with himself. Okay? Ooh, thank you, spirit. The spirit guys was literally dealing with Belle, Beauty over here separately, talking to her, encouraging her, letting her know everything gonna be all right, and also was dealing with the beast to get his attitude together. The spirit guides was working and knows how to move you, how to move around you to get you where you are supposed to be, y'all. It makes me think though, like, well, what would have happened? Well, we know what would have happened if he didn't, if he didn't turn his heart around. That's why I say it's like we can curse ourselves. We can literally curse ourselves, keep ourselves stuck when we are in a lower frequency. Thank you, spirit. It took, wow, that's deep. It took the beast vibrating to a higher frequency of love. I've said before, love is the highest frequency of all. It took the beast vibrating to a higher frequency to break the curse. Belle was already operating at a higher frequency. Catch it. Belle was already operating at a higher frequency of unconditional love, y'all. And people don't believe that unconditional love is real. That's why if you're here and you're somebody that loves with a pure heart, a pure soul, people run from it because it's rare. They don't know how to receive your genuine pure love. It scares them. And I'm not even just talking about divine masculine, I'm talking about anybody. It scares them. They think that's not real because they don't experience that. Belle, first she showed the ultimate sacrificial love when she literally sacrificed her own life and her freedom to be a prisoner in place of her dad. But she didn't know that her being a prisoner in that castle was actually part of her destiny. And I'm also, thank you, Spirit, reminding me, when you are a chosen one, and when you're a chosen one with a twin flame, you can feel like you're a prisoner. Like, why in the world did you do this to me? Why would you tether me to a person like this? Like, because that's how it feels. It feels like a connection, a bond that cannot be broken. It's a bond that is a mirror to show you what you need to work on within yourself. And it can feel painful. It can feel like, why? You know, I remember I think about my twin, like, ain't no way he can be my twin. Ain't no way. Look how he acting. Look at him. Look how he acting. It ain't no way. Spirit, you got it all wrong. That is not the one. Look how he acting over there. Like I say, Spirit gonna deal with you individually to get you ready for union, and Spirit gonna deal with your divine masculine and get them ready for union as well. But that also brings me to a point to say that I've said this before. the twin flame journey is really not about your person. It's really about you. It's really about you, them being a mirror to show you yourself, okay? Because some parts of you cannot go into that union. A divine union is the highest union, the highest love, divine order of all, okay? It's not like other karmic relationships where you just get together, y'all just together. No. Spirit does things in order. The divine does things in order, especially when it comes to a divine union, a twin flame union. Y'all got to put that work in, okay? Pray for your person. They are a mirror. Whatever it is that your person is doing, whatever shows up in them that you don't like, it's a reflection. What is it in you that how does that reflect and show up in you in your life, right? I'll use an example. You know, I find myself to be an attractive woman. Okay, I have no problem attracting men to me that want to take care of me, right? I have no problem with that. So it got to a point in my journey where my twin being my twin, okay, they be acting up. And I'm like, you know what? Fine, forget this. I'm gonna go be with somebody else anyway, because I know such and such, you know what I'm saying? Ready. I ain't talked to such and such, but such and such be looking at me. I already know such and such is waiting, ready for an opportunity. So it got to a point, y'all, where I realized that it would be a waste of time. That was a karmic loop. And part of my assignment and my soul mission now is to help others identify their karmic loops so they can break free from them, okay? When I tell y'all, it took spirit, and I've been knowing my twin for a while, y'all. It took spirit sitting me down and making it plain and clear. No, that is your person. That one, that is it. It took, because if sometimes I didn't know, I'll be questioning, like, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe he my divine masculine. Ain't no way. Look how he acting. Ain't nothing divine about how he acting. It ain't nothing divine about how he acting. Ain't no way. But if you truly are divine, spirit will give you downloads and messages of what you need to know, what's going on with your person and what's going on within you. Okay, that's why I say it's really not about them for real. But y'all, literally, my karmic loop was, okay, let me break it down for you. So like, the root of it, it's always a root. The root was, I am such a loving individual, and I take pleasure in doing for others, doing for my person, right? I love helping other people. I genuinely want to help others. They going through something, I want to help, okay? So what the root of my lesson, but spirit used my twin as a mirror to show me this about myself. So instead of me, again, it was brought to my attention that being with somebody else was a waste of time, because me and my twin been on this journey, and I go be with somebody else, and it never works out. So it was like, why waste my time to go be with another relationship when I already know it ain't gonna work out? And spirit made it clear this is my person. So okay, let me sit down, because I have no more time to be wasting on that energy. Also, I know that I was destined for a higher purpose, a higher calling. So it was about coming into alignment with that. So then the karmic loop was, instead of wanting to give my time and my resources and my gifts and my treasures, my creation, my creative force away to others, I need to start pouring that more into myself. And we all talk about self-love and self-care, but there is layers to self-love. There's layers to healing. Healing is a journey, and it's like you hit certain checkpoints. So I've been on a journey of healing for a very long time. I prioritize my self-love and my self-care, but that was another loop underneath the surface that kind of went, under the radar a little bit. And it's like, yeah, what's really the root of this? I am so resourceful. I'm so creative. When anything I touch, it prospers. And I was giving that energy to other people, helping them with their business, helping them with their vision, right? And it was like, okay, well, how can I magnetize within myself. Remember, ultimately, the divine feminine, divine masculine union is with you balancing that energy within yourself, is you coming into oneness with yourself. We all have a divine feminine, divine masculine energy. The idea is to come into union within. That's the ultimate, because let's just say we never come into union, physical union in the 3D with our person. Even if you don't, you will still feel that oneness and that wholeness within yourself, that peace, that balance within yourself, to where you're not triggered by your person anymore. Okay? You're not triggered by what they do and what they don't do. You can still love them where they are. That's coming into that balance. That's coming to that union. That's coming into balancing yourself, where you don't feel like, oh, well, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna be over here to do something else. Well, what is it that source wants you to focus on right there, right now, instead of another person? That's the thing. We always are looking outwards and not looking within. At some point, we have to stop and hold up the mirror within ourselves to see, okay, what is my cycle? What am I afraid of? What is the shadow? Walking through the shadows so you can integrate and face it and bring it to the light and illuminate it and be whole. And it's a beautiful union within yourself. So, but the thing is, I think about, you know, when you are on the journey and you come to the highest frequency within, you are at home. You're at home with you. You're at peace and balance and joy and love with you, whether you have a person or not. And that's why that was something I learned some years ago on my journey, when God was walking me through how to love and having unconditional love. That's why, just like with Belle, by the time, thank you, Spirit, for bringing this to my remembrance, Belle had already done the work by the time she encountered her divine masculine, her fated divine counterpart. Just like in the twin flame journey, you as a divine feminine have already done some work to get to the point of even coming into 3D union, meeting them, okay? When you first encounter each other in the 3D. Spirit had already brought me to a point and prepared me. Lord have mercy. Ooh, y'all have no idea. Spirit had already brought me. I love my twin. Lord knows I do. Spirit had already brought me to a point, to a level, okay, to where I would be ready to handle what I was gonna endure with my twin. Now again, a twin flame union, just like with Belle, it does not mean you tolerate BS. It is a mirror to show you what you need to work on, what you still need to shed within yourself. But Source will have you work through some things alone to bring you to a point where you can be ready for such a powerful, strong connection, because you're going to go through some things, both of y'all. And another thing I remember along my twin journey, you cannot judge your person. You cannot judge a person. You cannot, because you're divine feminine and you say you feel like, I'm growing, I'm ascending, right? And look at how he acting. He ain't growing, he ain't doing nothing. But you don't know that, because, excuse me, both of y'all's journey looks different. What you need to work on within yourselves look different. Belle was already full of unconditional love. Belle had to just hold her vibration and not get off of her posts, okay? She had to hold her position of who she was. The beast had to turn his heart. But y'all, everything grows in the dark. You couldn't see it. He still hadn't confessed his love for her. But the change had already taken effect within him. So you cannot judge your divine masculine where they are in the journey. Another thing Spirit taught me and showed me was, divine feminines, our work is more spiritual, right? And we go through our ascensions and things. The divine masculine leads in the 3D. They protect us, okay? They protect us in the physical realm. We protect them in the spiritual realm, okay? We cover them with our unconditional love. They cover us physically in the 3D, okay? When as you go through certain checkpoints as a divine feminine, okay? Because here's the thing what Spirit showed me. You can feel like you are growing and ascending, right? And doing your work, and you can feel like he ain't doing nothing from what it looks like. He's still acting the same. Look at him. But what I learned was when you hit a certain checkpoint, yeah, it's like you growing, but you ain't hit that next checkpoint yet. Because when you hit a certain checkpoint, things change in that man. You may not see it, but you can get some glimpses of it. Or spirit will tell you, this is what you're going through right now. So y'all gotta tap in, listen to spirit. Thank you for them hearts, tap, 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 tap. Spirit will tell you, And it's like, ooh. For example, everything happens in the spiritual realm first. Divine Feminines, we lead in the spiritual realm. So when we align spiritually with the union and what it is, and stop, because we delay the connection, y'all. If y'all don't want to believe me, Divine Feminines is really on us, because everything happens in the spirit realm first. So it literally took the spirit guys intervening even with me, because the whole time looking at him like, look how he ain't doing nothing, look how he acting. He look like he ain't doing nothing. But it took the spirit guys to sit me down and say, look, okay? And I'm like, okay. And so I'll say this year, it's really been turned up. Everything this year, Spirit wanted me to focus more on the spiritual side of everything. Everything. I've always been spiritual. I always knew how to like manifest in the spirit realm, but I still was looking at outwardly things, because everything's on a timing out. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Just like Beauty and the Beast with that rose wilting, there is divine timing at play. There is divine timing at play. That's why I say you have to appreciate where you are on your journey. Go within, talk to Source, consult with your spirit guides about what it is that you need to see, what it is that you need to know, what it is that you need to work on right now. That reminds me, Spirit is giving me a new series to start doing, and it's about what's blocking you, okay? The last series we just did when we first started this channel was all about divine inheritance, being in alignment with your divine inheritance. Then it was about you breaking the curses of your divine masculine, and yeah, you being in alignment to receive your divine inheritance. It's like now it's about what's blocking you. So that's gonna be our next series, y'all. But it's just so powerful. It's such a powerful word. I just keep hearing everything is within. Everything is that inner work. If you're divine feminine, listen to me. Stop judging your divine masculine. It is not about them. Anything that they do to trigger you, that's a shadow for you to work on. That's your shadow work. That's your shadow work. You are, if you have a divine feminine, divine masculine, a twin flame connection, you are so blessed and highly favored and rare. It's literally a gift from the divine to have a twin flame, because you had the opportunity to literally ascend and transcend into new heights, and you were gifted a mirror. You don't have to guess. Everything that comes up that triggers you about them is your shadow work. Shadow work is how we ascend, y'all, and go higher. My twin will never know how he's helped me ascend and become the powerful force that I am. Okay? And I help him become a powerful force as well, because that's what we came here to do. We came here to ascend, to transcend, to become our highest selves, our highest beings. And you can do that through connection. Even in karmic connections, you learn the lessons. Learn the lessons. It hurt you. What did you learn from it? Because there was a lesson there for you, because you attracted was with that person for a reason. So what was the lesson? What was the lesson? And so that's what I was saying with my last lesson, which changed everything, because a karmic loop was, it's easy to go be with somebody else. And it's got to a point where it's like, but I don't want to do that. I'm tired of doing it. And it's not coming from a place of being bitter, because some women be like, forget these men, I'm gonna be single, I don't need no man. That is not the energy. That is not the right vibration. That's low frequency. We need to raise it a little higher. It's saying, no, I can be in my power. I love you. And I am at whole and at peace, and I'm going to focus on my creation. I'm going to focus on what it is that spirit. Y'all still there? My thing frozen. Oh, sorry, y'all. My camera had frozen. I don't know what that was about, but yeah. So understanding what spirit has given you to work on to ascend. That is the power, and that is the love that transforms. That's the love that transforms. You transforming the love that you have, and love is the highest frequency of all. It transforms everything and everyone, everything that you come in contact with. That's why when you go around, when you go a place, people just stare. It's divine energy, y'all. I am a goddess to a god. We are gods and goddesses walking amongst this earth. We are sources of light. We are sources of light. And our twin flame unions help us radiate that light and that love even more. So, y'all, I think that was all I had for my Beauty and the Beast channeled message. I don't know if my phone is tripping. So let me see. Did I have any other notes I want to say? I think that was everything, y'all. I told y'all we're gonna be looking at these notes. Didn't I tell y'all that? I think I said everything I wanted to say. The key points. But I knew I had all them notes. Yeah, if y'all could see these notes, how many times did I glance over there? Because I don't remember. Probably once or twice. All that was just downloads and channel messages. That's why I always leave room for spirit to move how spirit wants to move. Okay? But y'all, I absolutely love this work. I love what I do. It was my prayer many years ago for God to use me as a vessel, and I love this. I didn't know I was being used as a vessel all these years. All this whole time I didn't know, and we've only gone higher, and so we're going to reach more people. But yeah, y'all look out for this series. We'll be doing What's Blocking You. I'm also received a message from spirit to help y'all like with shadow work and breaking karmic loops. I'm also working on a community for divine feminines, okay, to help you navigate the twin flame journey, y'all. Okay, this is not coming from a book. This is coming from the divine, real in the field. Okay, I've been real in the field, and so to help y'all navigate the twin flame journey. Yes, lovable, help you navigate the twin flame journey, and we're gonna break these cycles, y'all. Yes, so we can elevate and ascend. I am a psychic, intuitive, and a medium. So I love my work. I have all the clairs. I'm an empath, highly intuitive. And so I enjoy sharing these messages with you all. But we are going to end this one here. I may come back on and talk about some other stuff, but I want to give y'all that channel message. I know y'all been waiting for it. So that is the Beauty and the Beast channel message. And I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.